What's up YouTube, Webberz05 here, coming at you today with the response to my Q&A video of when I requested questions, so here are the answers to those who posted questions. Before we get to the video, I just want to say thank you to everyone who did post a question, and I appreciate it. And also, before we get into the video, I want to apologise for the background noise. That's just my air conditioning unit, but it is really hot today, so I kind of wanted to put it on. So, without further ado, I'll just get started with the Q. So these first sets of questions are from the Dark Petition. Thank you very much, Richie. So let's go. So, Dark Petition's first question was, how am I doing? So I did mention that at the start of Master 05, I wanted to rebuild my Blackwing. So his first question, how's rebuilding Blackwings going? So the simple answer with that is, I've been a bit distracted with the new Plunder Patrol support and various techs with Celine in terms of Endymion, so I haven't really done anything with my Blackwings recently. And also I found through quarantine, if I'm not physically playing, I don't really feel like doing too much to my decks. So that's kind of it. It's still in the mind. I would like to at some point get round to Blackwings. It's just not a big priority right now. So I do apologise for that. So yeah. Okay, so the second question was, Buster Blader just got some new support with the new link. Would I consider maybe building Buster Blader again? That's a good one. That is a fair point. Buster Blader has had some really good support recently. Their new link monster is quite nice. And I did a bit of a reread on their effects of all the Destruction Sword cards, because it has been a while since I've taken a look at it. It's very anti-graveyard, which is potentially a very good option for this format, so yeah, I could maybe consider looking into rebuilding Buster Blader. But hey, but like you said, I've got the Blackwings I said I was going to rebuild that I haven't, so maybe not right now, but I'll keep it in mind. Dark Petition's third question is also one that lots of other people have answered, so I'm just going to answer it all once now. The question being, what got me interested in the game? So for me, guys, what got me interested in it was when the game came out in like the early 2000s, I was in secondary school, loads of people in my class were playing the game and watching the series, so I'm like, yeah, alright, so yeah, it looks interesting. And so after a while, kind of through my friends as well, I just kind of like, yeah, I'll give it a go, and then that's pretty much how I got, and that's sort of how I got started that's how I kind of basically got into the game. Just everyone at my school was playing it, and I kind of wanted to just follow in and join. Yeah. And so, fourth question from the Dark Petition was, when we first met, I was playing a Utopia deck. What made me consider playing that deck at the time, and would I consider playing it again? So when I was playing the Utopia deck back then, when we first met, so I was going through a stage that, so when I built Utopia, this was like, I think I was at the end of my college days when I was building Utopia. I was around the point that I was playing Synchro up to the point I finished secondary school. I took a break from the game while I was in college, and then after I was done with college, my friend invited me out to an anime con with him, which had a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament going on. I decided to play my Synchro deck. I got absolutely annihilated by Xyz monsters, which I had no idea existed. And so from there, I did some bit of research into Xyz monsters, and subsequently started watching the Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal anime, and then because I was in kind of the format of building a deck based off the protagonist, I kind of built the Utopia deck, and I liked the concept of it because of the rank ups, but yeah, so that's kind of how I ended up playing Utopia, just as a Xyz spamming deck. And in terms of would I consider building it again? Well, frankly, until we get a decent generic search for rank up cards, probably not. Okay, so those are the questions from the Dark Petition. Thank you very much, Richie. Those were very interesting. Next set of questions. These are from Duplock. Also my friend Bernardo. You'd know him as the guy who plays Paleo, Trap Tricks, Rock BA. So, Duplock would like to know. Duplock's first question. what do I think needs to get hit on the next ban list? Now this maybe I have to think for a bit, because naturally I know some of the things about what's going on. I know what's going on in the format. I've been watching the Crush Card Cup and lots of other and some other bits of competitive play, so naturally I know the big thing of what needs to get hit, but I'm going to get to that at the end. So currently my thoughts of what I'm thinking of needs to get hit, I need to say Block Dragon I feel needs to get banned, because it's giving Adamancipator way too much additional advantage. That's not fun. Another thing I can think of is Magical Meltdown. The Invoked Engine has been doing so much in being teched around, which is fine. It's a decent engine, takes advantage of the grave. It's only really good in decks that can manipulate specific attributes, which is really good. I'm still currently working on my idea of Invoked Plunge Patrol, which, in case anyone's wondering, it's getting there, but it isn't fun when your opponent forces you to play first. It's not very good like that. But yeah, simply put, I think if they just took out if they just put Magical Meltdown to 1, the deck's still playable because you still got 3 hours, so you play multiple most people play multiple invocations, and from what we've seen, come on guys, you know they've always got the second invocation in hand. So yeah, hit the Meltdown just to maybe cut a bit of the consistency, because that's not exactly something Konami hasn't done in the past. For decks that have field spells that go, when this card is activated, you can search this. They have done in the past of hitting those cards. I mean, look at Trickstar Light Stage, that got hit. But frankly, there's not really too many other field spells that give that instant surge upon activation. But yeah, I think if they just hit the Meltdown, that will put the Invoked Engine somewhat in check. And then, as I said, in regards to the the Halka Fibrax combo. Okay, so there's so much debate on what can get hit in this engine. So for some people they could say, oh, get rid of the starting card Jet Synchron. Yes, it's true, Jet Synchron is a 1-card Halka Fibrax that does stupid, degenerate advantage off a single normal summon. Okay, so let's think. We get rid of Jet Synchron. What do people do instead? Oh, hello, Draconet. Yeah, Draconet. Same thing. It's a 1-card Halka Fibrax. Normal summon Draconet, special summon a level 2 normal tuner from your deck. Boom. You've got the exact same combo. And even easier to search because you can play Cynet Mining. So yeah. Clearly, you can't get rid of getting rid of Jet Synchron is not going to solve the problem. Now, there's a lot of options with Link Cross, of some people saying. OCG has this at 1. Frankly, I don't really think Link Cross is too much of the problem. Link Cross, they typically only use 1 of it anyway. Some people only play 2 if they just have the space that they can just do the combo again. So that's another option. But yeah, they're probably not going to do anything. I don't really see them doing anything to Link Cross yet. So, and then naturally there is the debate of hitting Halka Fibrax directly. This is probably the best call to deal with it. However, we're in the current position of quarantine, so nobody's physically playing the game. So nobody's actually probably physically picking up too many cards, so naturally Konami's not physically selling the Halka Fibrax, so they're not really making the money off of it. So my guess is, if they are planning to hit Halka Fibrax, they're going to wait until after quarantine's done and the game properly starts up again and they're doing live tournaments. So they'll let us have this back. We'll get back into proper gameplay. They'll try and be like, yeah, let's get some more sales of Halka Fibrax, get through the format a bit more, and now when it's time to do the next ban list, boom, he's gone. But for the moment, I don't see Halka Fibrax getting hit on the next ban list. So for my thoughts on what is going to get hit in the engine, I'm personally thinking it might be Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon. My reasoning for this is, for starters, it's not been unlike Konami to kill token generators. I mean, look at what happened all the way back in Circuit Break format. They hit, what was it? Galaxy Tomahawk, Scapegoat. And naturally OCG, they've done similar things. They hit Link Cross to 1. Yeah. Konami really doesn't seem to have a thing for token seems to have an issue with token generators, so potentially I feel Auroradon could be the issue, and I personally feel Auroradon is the issue, because you go to the Auroradon, yes, it locks you out of Link summoning, but you just got mass amounts of tokens. Then you use then naturally you've got the other effect of Auroradon to tribute two monsters, especially some of the Mecha Phantom Beasts, and that gives you your Synchro setup. So frankly, I feel if they get rid of the Auroradon, people can still use Halka Firebrax, because I feel Halka Firebrax is okay for the game because when he came out in Dual Overload, loads of good Link 3s came out in Dual Overload that people have been playing, but they are simply playing it because of Halka Firebrax. But it's allowing people to play lots of other cards, and they're picking up older cards. Like, some people have seen the Apex Avian combo in regards with the Samorg Link. Some people I've seen have been using it for Selene. Not too many, because frankly we just use Crowley. But personally, I feel Halka Firebrax is good for the game, just because he allows lots of these older decks to be just a bit faster. He's very simple to make. Just allows older decks to just do the strategies that they want to. And Synchro is a very prominent summoning method, so I personally think he's fine. The issue is all these degenerate combos that he can enable, and currently the main one is the one with Auroradon into the double negates of Savage Dragon and Herald of the Arclight. So personally, yeah, I think if we get rid of Auroradon, that should probably keep things in check for the moment of taking out the double negates. It won't fix everything, but they might just have to convert to using a different strategy for the deck, but hey, that's fine. Okay. Wow, that was a long explanation about the ban list. I probably should have done that in a ban list as a ban list prediction video. Which being said, if anybody would like me to do a ban list prediction video, please do comment down below. Okay, second question by Duplock. Will Toad come back to 3? Oh, Bernardo, you crack me up, man. No, Toad's never coming back to... They're not going to bring Toad back to 3. They just hit it to 1. Toad cannot be at 3. He's not a fun card to deal with. The only reason he's at 1 is because of the Sharks getting new support and the amount of spammage you could do with Bahamut Shark. But Bahamut Shark, he personally doesn't do anything wrong. He requires 2 level 4s to be two level 4 water attribute monsters to be summoned, which there aren't really too many water attribute decks at the moment. There's Plunder Patrol, Sharks has got a bit of support. Sharks haven't really been doing too much. Plunder Patrol's doing bits, but they're not that great. So personally, I don't feel Bahamut Shark is the problem. Toad is a massive problem, because there's Frogs, there's Paleo, various other level 2 engines you can play. Yeah, we can't have Toad. We can't have Toad at 3 in the game. And OCG did the same thing, they hit Toad to 1, so it makes sense. Sorry, Bernardo, we just can't have Toad at 3. Sorry, man. Okay, and then his next question was, if I had to limit 3 cards from Pendulum, what would they be? That I had to think about, because that is a slightly open question of thinking, do I have to hit the deck directly or indirectly? So I did one for each. So if I was to hit the deck directly, I'd probably have to hit some of the consistency one. I'd probably hit the consistency cards, which would be Spell Power, Mastery, and Abductor for the search to cut out on our search power. Don't really think they need to get hit because we haven't been doing as much, but we're doing bits. And then also Selene, because Selene at 3, yeah, it gives a bit of advantage, similar to like how Electromite did. But again, we're not doing excessive amounts, so I doubt that. If I were to hit it indirectly, I would probably say to hit Magician's Souls. That would do a lot for the game. That would do a lot for the game as well. I would not be surprised if Magician's Souls got hit to 1 on the next ban list. It enables so many good combo extenders. Decent draw power for decks that abuse having spells and traps into the grave. So yeah. Another indirect hit I could consider is Chronograph Sorcerer, similar to what Astrograph did back with Electromite. He's just a good, easy extender for a spellcaster deck, which is kind of too good. And then another one I consider is Magician's Restage, because that engine's been popping up quite a bit with Endymion now, particularly in the tandem with Magician's Souls. So the combo is Magician's Souls, send him off, then you can either send him to do his draw, but most people just do Link off to do this stuff, add to it Restage, bring him back, effect, send the Restage, get a draw, and then get a search. So Restage, possibly, but Restage is an old card from Maximum Crisis. It's only really been showing up recently. I'm not really sure why people started picking up recently. Personally, I think the hand engine's interesting. Yes, because the concept of searching left hand to have one of those... I suppose the appeal in the engine is that the hands give the option of disruption that you don't have to do anything for. It's literally just a disruption that is there, and your opponent's just aware of it, and they're like, oh, that thing's going to negate the first thing that thing's going to negate the first spell trap that I play. I need to think this through carefully. Like, by doing the left-hand engine, you get a trap negation which protects you from things, which gives you the option to bait out your opponent's things like imperm. Also makes your opponent rethink that evenly match they might be having. Also protects you from Dark Ruler. It's another way. It's naturally a way around Dark Ruler no more because we're a big board-breaking deck. So they're like, oh, it's going to negate my Dark Ruler no more. But they're probably going to be anticipating. But that's probably the idea of that. So I'm going to go activate this. So if they try and activate a spell and they're like, okay, they're trying to bait out this. No, I'm just going to negate that by another method. Cool. So yeah, I like the concept of it, but restage into being able to do it, plus the combo of Magician Souls and restage is pretty good. I wouldn't be surprised if something along that engine got hit. So yeah. The fourth question by Dublock was, how did I get into Yu-Gi-Oh? So I kind of already explained that, so I'm not going to go through it again. And Dublock's fifth question was, how many tournaments have I won? I haven't actually counted. I don't really keep track, but I know it's quite a few, quite a lot. I know I've won quite a few tournaments, and frankly, all I know is I can very consistently make top 4. I can't think of the last time I had a tournament at my locals and I didn't make top 4, so yeah. I've won quite a few, but I've definitely topped more than I've won. Okay, so next set of questions is from Gamer Central, who asked me, so first question was, what got me into Yu-Gi-Oh? Again, over that, not doing it again. Second, what's my favorite card? Now this question I found was open to interpretation, because that could mean, what's my overall favorite card? What's my favorite card I own? I took a look through some other questions. Somebody actually did ask me what's my favorite card I own, so I'll just take this one as what's my absolute favorite card. My favorite card is Buster Blader. So this card has a bit of sentimental value to me, because when I first started playing the game, all the way back when I was in primary school, out of one of the first packs I ever got, I pulled a Buster Blader from Pharaoh's Servant, and then subsequently about a few months later I lost it, and I was absolutely devastated. But this card was so good to me back in the day, because so many people were Dragons-based decks, so I was just using this, and he won me so many games, and he was just so great. Plus when he got dropped in the anime, I'm like, oh, this guy's so cool. Plus, his sword just looks really awesome. Love it. When the deck got support, I was so hyped for it. But then subsequently, the deck turned out to be kind of, it didn't do very much, and I was subsequently a bit disappointed. But who knows? Maybe I'll give it another try. We'll find out. If anyone would like me to have a go with Buster Blader again, leave that comment down below. Okay, so third question from Gamer Central is, which card do I think looks the best? So if I had to base a card I like on artwork, I would have to say Celestial Observatory, because personally for me, I've always really been into like my astronomy and stars. I thought it was just a really nice artwork. It was a decent. It was also a pretty decent card back in the decks I played, because back when I did Pendulum Magician variants, I had so many level 6s, so it was a pretty easy card to use. It was also one of those really underrated secret rares that nobody really played. So it was one of those secret rares that people picked up, and they're like, no, this is kind of lame. I really like the artwork, so I decided to pick them up from people. And now, I've got an entire page of it in my binder. Simply for the reason that nobody wanted it, and I really like the artwork. So, that's probably my top pick for a card I like based on its artwork. And then fourth question from Gamer Central was, most expensive card in my collection. That's partially up to debate. I'd say that's partially up to debate. because naturally I've got a few Starlight rares which I know are going for quite a bit, so if I can do it based on the Starlight rares, that would be a combination of my Appaloosa in Starlight, IP in Starlight, and then there's also my Pyro Phoenix in Starlight, but I know for a fact Pyro Phoenix in Starlight is not nearly as much as the other ones. So these two are probably definitely up there in the expensive cards in my collection. But if I had to put, but in my personal opinion though, probably the most expensive cards I own are my 2019 prize cards from last year that I got in my World Celebration tournament. Still sealed. I have not opened them. As much as I would really like to, I'm not going to. Now currently I know some of you might be thinking, but that thing's really not as much as the Starlights. Yeah, that's true, it's not as much now, but I know with things like prize cards, over time, they just go up and up in value. I was checking out on eBay earlier, I've seen now that prize cards from 2018, they're going for like £800, so I find the longer I keep these, this is just going to keep going up in value. So yeah, that's probably why I'd give it the spot of the most expensive card that I've got, even if I've never physically seen them. And so Game Essentials next question, what's my favorite deck? I think you guys already know the answer to that. The answer to that is Pendulum. I've loved Pendulum ever since the mechanic came out. It's so much fun. It just really took me ages to master the basics of Pendulum, and now I can happily say I know it like the back of my hand, and I just absolutely love Pendulum. That being said, I do have a soft spot for Black Wings. That's probably one of my favorite decks. That's probably my favorite deck from the anime. Crow was such a cool character, the concept of Black Wings is so good, it's just a nice swarm beatdown deck and I really love it. Like I said, I would really like to get around to building it, but again, I've just been in that position. I haven't really had the motivation since I'm not physically playing the game. So yeah. And the Game Essentials final question for me was my least favorite deck. I had to do some good thinking about this, because that's a difficult one. Over the years I've been playing the game, I've had so many decks. I've had lots of matchups from like, I really hate this deck, or like, oh, I don't want to face this. But most of those decks thoroughly got the execution that they deserved. However, one deck I can think of did not get hit like that. It is technically still at full power, and I really do not like the deck, so I'd have to give that spot to Lair of Darkness. I cannot stand the Lair of Darkness deck. That is compliments to my friend Will Smith, using it against me for several months in the formats. Lair of Darkness was just not a fun, in my personal opinion, guys, Lair of Darkness is just not a fun deck to deal with. Just the card itself. Yes, I can tribute my opponent's Dark Attribute monsters to do stuff once per turn. For a deck that's just like, okay, I'm going to tribute your monster and get rid of your resources to activate a trap that gets rid of more of your resources. That's just not fun at all to deal with. I mean, yes, I play a deck that basically says you're not playing the game, but at least mine gives my opponent a chance to react to it. The Lair of Darkness trap build essentially just says, nope, I'm getting rid of this resource you've got, and now I'm going to get rid of more of them. Deal with it. That was not fun, and for that reason, I cannot stand Lair of Darkness at all. Okay, so that's it from questions from Gamer Central. Next set of questions I got was from Express Gaming. So, first question from Express Gaming. This one's not actually a Yu-Gi-Oh based question, but it was interesting for me. So Express Gaming's first question was, what will I first do after lockdown? I think like so for me, I think like 90% of other people, the first thing I'm going to do is get my hair cut. My hair is growing out of control and I don't like it. I mean, yes, it looks nice and people say it's a nice visual thing to look at, but it's really annoying to take care of when I've got really big hair like this. And then probably the next thing I'll do after that is have breakfast at my favorite cafe, which is actually right next to the barbers I go to, so get them both done in one day. Okay. Express Gaming's second question was, what sets am I looking forward to? So currently Konami hasn't revealed too much about sets that are coming out. I know Rise of the Duelist is the next main set we're getting, but frankly, there's not really too much I'm seeing in Rise of the Duelist that's doing it for me. The Gaia stuff looks alright, but I'm not too hyped for it. So currently the thing I'm probably say I'm looking forward to most that's coming out is the, what's it called again? Structure deck Masters of Spiritual Arts, which is the Charmer structure deck. So that looks quite interesting. That'll be another spellcaster based deck for me to play, so I'm used to spellcaster, that's pretty good. And currently they don't have too much support, they don't have too much of their support revealed, but I'd be very interested in seeing it once it's all done. Charmers are really nice, and who knows, that could be my next proper flex deck, because as most people know, currently, since they introduced Starlight Rares, all the Charmer links got their Starlight Rares. So that'll be a really nice expensive deck for me to play. So yeah, be interested to see what kind of stuff they do. And also, naturally, the OCG came out with those Charmer sleeves as well. So there's like one sleeve based on each of these 6 attributes. I haven't decided which one I like the most so far. Currently, the only one I don't really like is Wind, just because it's kind of iffy. And then that being said, also the Earth one, it's kind of meh. Oh yeah, the sleeves look very interesting. I was very tempted to pick some up, but I couldn't decide on which ones. If anyone's got a suggestion of which of the Charmer sleeves I should pick up, do let me know in the comments as well. But yeah, I'll be very interested to see in terms of what the Charmer deck does. Okay, so that's it from Express Gaming. And then, last person who commented on some questions for me was Ziggy Sweets. So, her first question was, favorite card I own? Favorite card I own? Well, hold on. Sorry guys, I feel like I've missed out on a question here. Oh yeah, I did. Sorry. I missed out on sorry guys, I missed out on 3 questions from Express Gaming, my bad. Okay, so Express Gaming's third question was my first card. I can actually remember. I remember my first card. I've still got my first card. Guys, before I show you which one this is, you have to understand, I got this card all the way back in the early 2000s when the game first started. This is an extremely old card. I also went through an incident where I was playing a game at school and somebody spilled water on my cards and subsequently kind of ruined this, but I've still kept it as a reminder of when I started the game. My card. You guys will probably never guess what it is because it's an extremely old card. It has nothing to do with any of the decks I play. But my first card is King of Yamimaki. So, as you guys can see, mine has been through absolutely the works. He's basically, well not basically, he's unplayable, but still. This was the first card I found before I'd started properly buying cards. I would sometimes find random cards that were spread about my school, start picking them up. This is the first one I picked up, so this is just a nice reminder for me of when I started the game. But like I said, he's been through the works and he's just unplayable, but I still keep him as a reminder of when I started. Then Express Gaming's fourth question was my favorite normal monster from the original series. I would probably have to give that to the Summoned Skull. I mean, that card was just like the level 6 beta of the 2000s. Still like probably the best level 6, still probably like the level 6 beta of most decks. A really good level 6 beta, because he was just a level 6 with 2500 attack. That was so good back in the day. Still so few monsters that do that now. I mean, there's a lot more that do it now, but it just got their effects, and they're usually not quite as good. But yeah, I really like Summoned Skull. And then Express Gaming's final question was, what decks do I plan to build in the future? So, as I explained, I was looking forward to the Charmer support that's coming out in the structure deck. Maybe I'll build a deck around that. It really depends how much of their support comes out. We'll see. In terms of other decks I'm planning to build, currently nothing's on my list, because naturally, since we've been in lockdown, they haven't really revealed too much about products that are coming out. Rise of the Duelist hasn't really shown anything that I'm too interested in, so probably not going to be building anything from that. I'll admit the Gaia stuff does look nice, but I'm probably not going to build it. Naturally, also depends if we get another TCG exclusive archetype in there. Who knows? Maybe I'll have a TCG archetype that I want to build. Who knows? But for now, kind of the only thing I've got in my mind that I might want to build is Charmers. now, okay, that time I've gone through all the questions from Express Game. So now, so the last set of questions I've got is from Ziggy Sweets, who's a good friend of mine. So her first question was, favorite card I own? Well, I admitted earlier that Buster Blader is my favorite card in the game, but it's probably not the favorite card that I own. My favorite card I own is my Black Skull Dragon from the collector's tin of when it came out. I don't remember what the tin was called, but it's the code is BPT. I don't remember which one that was. But yeah, this was given to me by my best friend when I was like I think I was 10, 11 at the time, and it's just held a lot of sentimental value for me over the years. I really like it. Plus, the card itself was just so good. I loved it when it got dropped in the anime. This was such a cool card. It's one of the few. It was like, for a long time, the original level 9. So, it's got value for me as that. And yeah, I just really always liked it. And her second question was, card I don't own that I'd like to own. I had to do some really good thinking about this one, because there are a lot of cards I would like, but I can't think, but cards I don't own as well. But a lot of cards I would like. I'm trying to think of the card I'd probably most like. So I did some thinking, and I think I'd have to say the card I'd most like right now is the original art, is the artwork of Dark Paladin with the Dark Magical Circle in the background, which is either the one from Magician's Force or the Duel Master's Guide. Now, I remember that Dark Magician has one of these. I don't remember which set it's from, but he won't trade it. But I'm not surprised. It's a very nice artwork. So Dark Magician, if you could just send me a message as to which one that you've got, I'm going to try and pick up the other one. So I really want that, because frankly, I really want that card, but I don't want to be like properly copying you. And then I also want to try and one-up you by having one of the ones that you don't have. I'm joking, man. Totally respect you. But I would like to know which one you have. Okay, and then Ziggy Sweet's next question was my favorite format. Favorite format, I would probably have to say September 2016 format. This was when we got the ban list where Maxi got hit to 2, Kaiser Colosseum just got Kaiser Colosseum was banned, and I think something else was banned. Oh yeah, Monkey Board had just gotten banned as well. But despite that, I was still having very much fun that format. So for those who weren't around that format pretty much consisted of, okay, whatever. So yeah, September 2016, that was a lot of Cosmos, Metal Foes, and Paleo. That was a really interesting format. People were just playing Metal Foes in any deck that has cards that manipulate from being destroyed. Yangzing Metal Foes was a big one back then. Paleo, they were just fun. People would start playing trap decks again, which was really good. And then Cosmo, well, they're the reason Kaiser Colosseum pretty much got banned. But they were still a very annoying deck, and they just had, naturally, at the time, they just had Dark Destroyer hit to 1, and then they also got their new Dark Planet, which was mad. But my reason I really enjoyed that format was because of what I was playing at the time. I was playing a version of Pendulum Magician that I basically called Navona High Paladin Turbo. It was a deck concept where my ability was I can turbo out 3 Navona High Paladin in a single turn. For those wondering, Webberz, how exactly do you turbo out 3 Navona High Paladin in one move? I'm glad you asked. So the concept of how it works is, so around the time we just had the structure deck for the Felgrand deck, so we had the introduction of Return of the Dragon Lords, which resurrects a level 7 or 8 Dragon Synchro, and because the deck at the time was playing things like Meteorburst Dragon, we had Noble Dragon Magician, which is a tuner that only works to summon dragon monsters, so I was like, okay, this could have really good synergy, really good application. Like, yeah, I'll play Return of the Dragon Lords, bring back one of my dragons, then synchro with a level 3 Pendulum, make Navona. Mad. So the advantage of so how the turbo bit of it works is you synchro summon your level 7 dragon, and then either on the same turn you will have pendulum summoned multiple level 3 pendulums with Return of the Dragon Lords in your hand or in your graveyard. So then the concept is, because Navona High Paladin has the ability if you control a Pendulum Summon Pendulum monster, you can treat it as a tuner monster for this card's Synchro Summon. And if you Synchro Summon it doing this way, you can take one card from your graveyard and add it back to your hand. So the idea of what I did in the combo is I add back Return of the Dragon Lords. So I'd just be like, Return of the Dragon Lords, bring back Meteor Burst, Synchro into Navona, effect, bring back Return, activate Return again, bring it back. If I've got more level 3s, do it again, just loop, which was mad, insane, but I loved it. It was such a good time. Also keep in mind, guys, Dark Illusion was just a really good set. I remember the sneak peek I went to, I went XO in that sneak peek and walked away with the Navona High Paladin mat. I remember pulling a Secret Rare Cosmic Cyclone from my packs, and naturally Pot of Desires came out in that set, and that card's just been absolutely insane ever since. How that card's still at 3 is beyond me. Well, not completely. It's because it's got a massive cost to activate, but yeah, it's really good. So yeah, and then also, another thing I was doing in terms of the deck was, we had also had the starter deck Yugioh come out, which incorporated Smile World. So I was having a bit of fun playing that around. It was just a very fun, chill deck. Which because of Navona High Paladin, had very good competitive application at my locals. Yep, it was good. For me, September 2016 format was just a really good time for playing the game. And then the last question I've got is actually the opposite question. What's my least favorite format? For me, that's an easy one, though I wouldn't exactly classify it as a format. I would classify it as a year, and that is 2017. The year of the Zodiac. Seriously, we had Zodiac wrecking the meta for like the entire year. Despite the initial... So on the initial release, we had like a couple weeks of full-powered Zodiac engines everywhere. Then they're like, okay, this is out. Then Konami's like, okay, let's just get it out of power. We need to get rid of something. So they put Rat Pyre to 2, and that's like, okay, that made it slightly less viable. Oh, but guess what? People just started working around it. Mad. They're just like, okay, so we don't have the additional Rat Pyre. We're just gonna use Ram. It was horrible, guys. For those who did not play during the Zodiac 2017 format, I don't know whether to envy you or feel sorry for you. That was a very weird format. It was like every deck basically had to be like, you have to play Zodiac somewhere in your deck or you're going to lose. As far as tier 0 decks go, that's probably my least favorite tier 0 deck. But yeah, Zodiac was not a fun time. And it just continued on even after Lynx, because we still had Dryden, we still had Broadball. Mad, it was horrible. Horrible. Sorry guys, just having horrible flashbacks of horrible things Zodiac did to me. I mean, come on. I mean, for those wondering, I know for some of you might be thinking, Webberz, don't I recall you made a strange variant of Zodiac at one point? Yes, I did. I played a variant of Zodiac, ABC, and Cyberdark. Cyberdark's made it chill. I mean, yeah, the Cyberdarks didn't actually do anything, but it was still fun. I played it as an engine because it's a way to get monsters in the graveyard out of my extra deck very quickly. So it powers up Cyberdark Dragon quickly. But I didn't play it for that. I played it for the Cyberdarks. It was fun. Okay, guys, admittedly, I played it because pretty much it was at the point everyone was playing it, and I'm like, okay, I want to start doing well again here. So I kind of just caved in and got Zodiacs. I'm not proud of it, but still. Okay, so that's it for all the questions that I had. Thank you so much. Hope that answered all your guys' questions. Hope you enjoyed it. If anyone's got any other questions for me, leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to Webberz05, and if you're already subscribed, feel free to hit that notification bell so that you never miss an upload.